Pox friends, Nathaniel Versi here. Today we're talking about a pretty intense topic that gets brought up relatively regularly for me in talking to men around the country, but maybe less conversational everywhere else. Today we're talking about having babies. Should you have babies or not? Now, if you're not married, don't click off yet, because this might actually be super helpful for you as you prepare and discern your vocation, but also as you just mentally prepare for what marriage is and what it is for. Some of you might be thinking, okay, this is a clear-cut topic. This is just easy. Yeah, you just have babies, and you have as many as you can, and you just keep having babies because that's what you do. Or some of you are like, actually, I'm the very opposite. Whatever you just said, bearded fellow, like, I'm actually on the other side. It's like, why have babies? I'll have babies when I want, and I don't want them to ruin my dreams, my hopes, my plans. And like, I kind of like the way I'm living. Okay, both sides of those come from very strong ideologies. It's not as black and white as just always have babies no matter what, or never have babies, or have one or two and then just be done and control your own schedule. Let's get into more of the spirituality behind this. What is man created for? Well, let's take a look at how we were designed. Our physical body, it tells a story. And in fact, it echoes the very story that was told in the beginning of time. The very story that God sung into creation, us made in his image and likeness. The first command to man from God: be fruitful and multiply. Since we're made in his image and after his likeness, this is a command that reflects himself. He who is creator was fruitful and multiplied the earth with many beautiful things, us included. The fact that we get to create with God is a huge gift. With him, we get to bring new life into this world. We, who are kind of knuckleheads from time to time, at least I can speak for myself, I wouldn't trust me, especially at my younger ages, to bring new life into this world, to create something that then has to be cared for, who cannot survive on its own, a small little child, into this world, to have to care for it, provide for it, and not just physically, but to provide for its soul as well. So that soul might be educated, brought closer to our Lord, in union with him to get to heaven. And by the way, there'll be angels fighting for it and demons fighting against that child. And the world will be trying to destroy this child so it might do anything besides have a relationship with God. So I'm there to try to protect this child, to bring this child into new life. Me, that's a huge feat. Sin is real. I struggle with sin myself. How am I supposed to help a child be free from sin if I can't be free from sin? A difficult thing. We are called to be fruitful and multiply, and commanded to be fruitful and multiply. This means if we are not going to choose to be fruitful and multiply, it has to be because there is a clear call out of this that we were created for, that we were originally commanded to do. So if we're called to be fruitful and multiply, then should we always just be fruitful and multiply? Always just pushing ourselves forward, letting our wives know, hey, today we got to be fruitful and multiply. And tomorrow we're going to have to be fruitful and multiply. And if we don't conceive, well, the next day we have to be fruitful and multiply. And then we just got to we got to do it 7 days a week. I mean, we just got to do it. It's a command from the Lord. Now, as nice as that might sound to some of us, I don't think it's going to sound real great to our wives. And it's not exactly what the Lord means. Let's get real and talk about sex for a moment. Now, if there's small ears around, you might want to turn this, put it on pause for a moment, because we're going to get real. When we have sex with our wife in a procreative way, that means the way that we ought to have sex with her, always open to life. In that moment of ejaculation, yes, we're talking about this on camera, there is a part of us that leaves our body and goes into our wife, a small death, a detachment from ourselves. And that could create new life within her. And a new life within her means that 9 months from now, we ain't going to be up in Canada catching fish. We're going to be in the hospital catching a baby. Our plans will have to change. The amount of time that we get for ourselves changes. This can be seen as a bad thing in the eyes of the world. But in the eyes of God, this is us getting a chance to embrace the life that he has given for us, the life that he has modeled for us, a life that is lived for others. If we want to get to heaven, we have to live like Christ lived. Christ lived for others. If we continue to live for ourselves, we're not living Christ-like, no matter how Christian we claim to be. We have to live for others. And at that point, as we're having sex, we get that little death, that little opportunity to say, yes, I am embracing this death, this small cross. And yes, it is sweet in that moment. For the sake of others, for the sake of my wife, for the sake of this new child that could be here. This is beautiful, and it certainly mimics the life of Jesus Christ, who lived fully to the point of physical death, death on a cross for others. I want to look at the other side for a moment, and I want to do it honest justice here. It is the case that not all of us are called to have babies all the time. First and foremost, we need to be married, and rightly married, an actual marriage. Even still, not all of us are called to be having babies all the time, because just having the babies is not the only responsibility we have as men. If we are unable to raise this child well, to educate them properly, and to bring them into a relationship with Jesus Christ that will get them to heaven to the best of our ability, well, then maybe now's not the time to have a child. It doesn't mean you can't embrace your wife. It just means you have to be in tune with her fully, her body, her cycle fully. And maybe for some it does mean abstinence for longer periods of time. Small deaths, even outside of the procreative act, out of love for our wife and obedience to our Lord. But how do we know? How do we know that maybe this is a time that we shouldn't bring a child into this world? That is a difficult question that I cannot answer for you. It is too particular to you. But I can say this though, especially in the West, especially in the United States, even amidst Christians, we tend too much to excuse ourselves from the command to be fruitful and multiply. Friends, this is a command to be fruitful and multiply. If you do not have a clear call from our Lord to do something other than be fruitful and multiply, then the command for you is to be fruitful and multiply. It is the case that babies do cost money. It is not the case that they cost as much as we think they cost. If we're paying for Netflix, we're paying for our phone bill, and we're paying for a bunch of other leisure activities, friends, we probably have enough money to have a baby. But there are other things, whether that's a medical issue with you or your wife, a situation in your family where there's even a mental health struggle that's happening, where it wouldn't be safe and it wouldn't be proper to bring a child into that situation. Right? If those things are the case, talk to our Lord about it. Go seek good counsel from other men and women of the faith of goodwill. Go seek a pastor. Talk to him. See what he has to say. He is full-time dedicated to our Lord for a reason, to help discern with you. Is this a proper time for you to be fruitful and multiply? Or do you have a call from our Lord to put on the brakes, to practice abstinence, to wait? If so, then wait with our Lord. But be sure you have a clear call. This is where the spirituality of it comes in. We have to know God's voice, to be able to hear his voice, to be able to know that it is actually him speaking to us. If we don't have a relationship with the Father where we can hear his voice, how are we going to know his will? How are we going to be able to live and make decisions as the head of our households on behalf of our wife and our children, or with our wife and on behalf of our future children or current children? How are we going to make the right decisions on behalf of them and with them if we do not know the voice of God, if we're not taking time to pray? Should you have another baby? Well, I can't answer that for you. But lean towards the side of yes. That is my encouragement, because that is the command from our Lord. That is the most clear. Listen to him. If he tells you otherwise, listen to him and do his will. But if he doesn't, well, be fruitful and multiply. And as you do so, do not be afraid, because he is there with you. He knows his plan. He knows what's going to happen, and he's ready to provide you the grace. Are you willing to receive that grace? My prayer for you is that you are. I don't know about you, but I want to get to heaven. So if that's something you like, hit the like button. If you have thoughts on other topics that you want to hear about, please put them in the comments below, because I would love to hear from you on what you want to hear about. Thanks so much, friends. Know that I am praying for you. Please pray for me and my family also. Peace.